Hi there, this is Reza. If you are watching this video, you probably have my programs in your TI calculator, and the purpose of this video is to show you how these programs work and how you can use them. So first of all, you can reach these programs if you press the program key on your calculator right here, and it shows you an alphabetical list of all the programs that are on your calculator. All the programs that I put into your calculator, their names are listed right here. Their names begin with my initials, RK, and the rest of the name of the program is designed to give you a hint what the program does. For example, this program right here, its name stands for two equations, two unknowns, and it solves a linear system of two equations and two unknowns. So let me write you an example here to show you how this program works. Let's say, for example, that you have 3x is equal to 5y minus 2, and that 4y is equal to 6x plus 1. So here's a linear system of two equations and two unknowns that you can solve using this program much quicker than you would by hand. What you do is you go into your programs menu, which you can do by pressing the program key on your calculator, then find the name of the program that you're looking for, then highlight the number next to it and hit enter, and then hit enter again. The first page of all these programs has my name, email address, and telephone number, and it says feel free to copy these programs to your friends, but please do not alter the contents. If you press enter, you get through to the second page of the program. The second page of most of these programs have a brief description of what the program does. This one reads, this program solves two equations and two unknowns. First, convert your equations into this form: ax plus by equals c, dx plus ey equals f, and then press enter. So what we need to do first is to rearrange these equations so that they are in the format that the calculator wants us. So what I need to do is to move the 5y to the other side of the equation. I'll write down 3x minus 5y equals negative 2, and then I'll need to move this 6x to the beginning of the other side, so I subtract it from both sides to write negative 6x plus 4y is equal to 1. So now I have my two equations in the format that the calculator wants. So if I press the enter key now, then it says, now that you put your equations in this form, what is the coefficient of x in the first equation, or a? The coefficient of x in this equation is 3. So I put in 3, hit enter. Then it says, what is b? b is the coefficient of y in this first equation, which is negative 5. So make sure you put the negative sign in there. C is negative 2. D is negative 6. E is 4. And F is 1. So now the calculator solves my system of equations and gives me the answer for x and y in decimal and fraction. These are the same numbers. So I can write x equals 1/6 and y equals 1/2. So here's the solutions to my system of equations, much quicker than doing this by algebra, by hand that is. So I press the clear button now. The next program on this list, its name stands for 2 points. So I go into the program list, find the 2 points, press enter, and I bring it up. Okay. It says this program finds the midpoint, distance, and the equation of the line that goes through two given points. You need the coordinates of the 2 points. Press enter to continue. So here's the 2 points program. I'm going to give you two coordinates here, negative 1 and 2, 4 and negative 7. Here's the coordinates of my 2 points. So if I press the enter key now, then it says x1. x1 is the x-coordinate of the first point, which is negative 1. y1 is 2. Then x2 is 4. and y2 is negative 7. Okay, it says the distance between these 2 points is 10.29. Press enter. The coordinates of the midpoint is at 1.5 comma negative 2.5. If you press enter, it says in y equals mx plus b, so now it's going to give you the equation of the line that goes through these 2 points. M in decimal is negative 1.8 and in fraction is negative 9/5. So I can write y equals negative 1.8x, and then it says enter to continue. So b in decimal is 0.2, or in fraction is 1/5. So I'll say b is plus 0.2, and then it says it's done, so I'm going to hit the clear button right here. So now I have the distance between my 2 points, I know the coordinates of their midpoint, and I know the equation of the line that goes through them with the slope and the y-intercept. There we go. Clear. The next program on the list of items is called factor. So hit program key, go down the list, find factor, enter, and enter again. The same beginning screen. The next screen says this program gives all factor pairs for the number you put in. For example, if you put in 16, it gives you 1 by 16, 2 by 8, 4 by 4. Keep pressing enter till you see done. Press enter to continue. Okay, so here's the factor program. Let's say you're solving a problem in which you need to know all the factors of 56. So if you put the 56 in here, it tells you the factors are 1 and 56, enter, 2 and 28, enter, 4 and 14, enter, 7 and 8, enter, and then it says we're done. So I'm going to hit the clear button now. So now if I wrote these all down here in numerical order, or all the factors of 56 in factor pair form. That's what this program does. Okay, the next program on this list is called prime. This program does a prime factorization for you. So let's go into the list and fire up the program called prime. Okay, it says this program factors any integer into its prime factors. For example, if you give it 120, it factors it into 2 to the third times 3 to the first times 5 to the first. Press enter to continue. Okay, let's say I want to know what the prime factorization of 300 might be. So I put that number in here, hit enter. It says 300 is equal to 2 squared times 3 to the first times 5 to the second. This is what you would have to do by hand using this factor tree, but now your calculator does it for you very quickly. Okay, press the clear button now. The next program on this list is named quad. So this program solves a quadratic equation for you. If I go into the programs list, find quad, hit enter and enter. Doesn't have a description page because it's pretty obvious what it does. So let's say I have 3x squared minus x minus 10 equals 0, and I want to solve this for the values of x. So it says what's a? That would be 3. B is the coefficient of x, or negative 1. Don't forget the negative sign. And c is negative 10. So there's the roots of my equation. X is equal to 2, or x is equal to negative 1.6 bar. So that's what the quad program does. Okay, I'm going to clear this now. The next program on this list is called remainder. So choose program, go down to remainder, enter, enter. I wrote this program because I noticed some kids had trouble doing a long division by hand in order to find the remainder. So I made a program to find the remainder for you for a long division. Let's say, for example, you want to divide this number by this number to find what the remainder is. So this program says finds the remainder when you divide x by z. What is the value of x? That would be 2317 is the first number, and z is the second number, 24. So it says the remainder is 13. Now your calculator doesn't compute remainders for you, so therefore that's why this program is there, for convenience. It's handy sometimes. The next program, I'm going to clear this. The next program on this list is called SAT1. Now let's go and fire it up. SAT1. Okay, this program, as opposed to the rest of these guys that I showed you, it doesn't have a numerical output. This just shows you facts, formulas, and information that you may need to look up. So if you go into the main menu of the program, at the bottom it reads press enter from inside each menu to get back here. That means if you go into any of these menus to look what's in them, in order to come back out, you must press the enter key on your calculator, and that takes you back to this main menu. It's important to remember that because you can only quit this program from the main menu here by pressing the clear key. So let's go look at item number 1, which is exponent rules. So you press the number 1, and it shows you rules of exponents in algebra. It shows you how to convert a radical into an exponent. It shows you how to convert a negative exponent to a positive one, and also what x to the power of 0 is equal to. So if you need to look up these facts, they're all right here in your calculator. If you press the enter key, it takes you back to the main menu. Look at number 5, box, cylinder, and circle. So if I press the number 5, it says the volume of a box, surface area of a box, diagonal of a box, volume, surface area, diagonal of a cylinder, area of a trapezoid, arc length and area of a sector in a circle. These are all formulas that are taught in geometry. If you ever need to look them up, they're right here in your calculator. Press the enter key, please. You'll see item number 6, shifting functions. If you press the number 6, it takes you to this menu. It shows you how to shift a function horizontally, how to shift it vertically, how to reflect it across the x-axis, reflect it across the y-axis, what does absolute value of x do to the graph of a function, and what happens when you switch x and y in a given function, what happens to the graph of the function. This is the topic of transformations that are sometimes taught in geometry or algebra 2. All this information is here for lookup if you need it. So let's press the enter key. The last item on this menu is sequences in series. Let's take a look. Number 7. This here shows you the formulas that you learned in dealing with arithmetic and geometric sequences. How to find the nth term of an arithmetic sequence, how to find the sum of the first n terms, and similarly for geometric sequences. The third formula is how to find the infinite sum of a geometric sequence in which the ratio is between 1 and -1. If you've covered this material in school, then you know what these formulas apply to. So let's press the enter key and go back and to the main menu. And if you press the clear key, you quit this program. Now, on your own, you can go back and take a look at the rest of these menus to see what's in them later. So clear to quit. Okay. The next program is useful for the SAT2 exam in math or the ACT exam because it has more advanced topics in math. So it's called SAT2. So let's go into the programs list and go down the list here and find a program called SAT2. All right. If I fire that one up, hit enter, it's got the same menu system as the program before, but the topics of these menus are different. For example, number 1, logarithmic formulas. If I press the number 1, it takes me into that menu. These are formulas related to logarithms. The first one shows you how to convert a log to an exponential. Notice I couldn't put the base of the log where it's supposed to go, right underneath the g, so I ended up putting it to the left and on top of the log. So this really reads y equals log base a of x is equivalent to x equals a to the power of y. Then this one is the product rule in logs, this is the quotient rule in logs, this is the exponent rule in logs, and this one is the change of base formula. So changing from base a to a base b in logarithms. Press the enter key. The next few menus have different topics as well. For example, item number 4, trigonometric graphs and shifts. It shows you for the graphs of y equals a sine of bx minus c plus d. The amplitude is defined as absolute value of a, period is 2 pi over absolute value of b, the phase shift or the horizontal shift is c, and the vertical shift is d. And similarly, some information about the graph of a tangent. This is taught in pre-calculus usually. If you press the enter key, go back to the main menu. Number 5 is sine and cosine rules and trigonometry. In this menu, you will find the law of cosines, the law of sines, and about a half a dozen or more trigonometric identities that you may need to remember to look up during the test sometime. Okay, let's press the enter key, and please feel free to go explore the rest of these menus on your own and see what's in them. For now, we'll press the clear key to quit. The next program on our list is called synthetic division. Its name stands for synthetic division, and it's the short synth. That's what it stands for, synthetic division. And as it implies, again, this program is only useful for the SAT2 math exam. So if you're taking the SAT1 or ACT, you can just skip this part. So the program synth, what it does is it performs a synthetic division. The first menu reads, this program performs a synthetic division. First, it asks for your divisor in the form of x minus a, then for the highest degree of x in the dividend, then for the coefficients of the terms in the dividend. Don't forget to put in zeros for coefficients of missing terms. Okay, so let's write an example and figure out how this works. Let's say, for example, that I want to divide x cubed minus 2x plus 1 by x plus 1. Now, because the divisor is in the form of x minus a or x plus a, I can do this division by synthetic division, which is much faster than long division. So if I hit the enter key right here, it says input your divisor. What's a in x minus a? Well, it's asking you for this term right here. So if this was x minus a, then the value of a would be negative 1. That would generate an x plus 1 over here. So then I put in negative 1 for the value of a. Then it says, what's the degree of the dividend? Well, the degree of the dividend is this number right here. It's a third degree polynomial. So I put that in. Then it says, give me the coefficients of the dividend. So now, let me just write this down for you as a normal handwriting synthetic division. If you were going to do this by hand, you would write down negative 1 over here as the root of this. And then what you would do is you would put the coefficients of this guy on top. So this becomes 1. Since the x squared term is missing, you put a 0 there. Then negative 2 and positive 1. So now you draw a line down here, and this 1 comes right down. You multiply negative 1 by 1, you get negative 1. Then you add these two. You multiply negative 1 by negative 1, which gives you positive 1. Then you add these two. So, and then you multiply -1 by -1, you get a 1, and then you add these two. This is going to be your remainder of your division, and these are the coefficients of your quotient or your answer. Since I have three coefficients, then I have a quadratic. X squared minus 1x minus 1, and the remainder, of course, is 2. Now, this calculator program performs the same thing. So we put in the degree of the dividend. The coefficients of the dividend are 1, enter, then 0, because the x squared term is missing, then -2, enter, and then +1. So you get these four numbers, 1, -1, -1, and 2, which is the four numbers that we generated down here by hand. So that's how this program works. The last number is always your remainder, which is 2 over here. And the remainder of those numbers are the coefficients of your quotient or your answer. All right. So hit the clear button. The next program on this list is called triangle. So let's go and find that program right there. Triangle, there it is, and fire it up. Now, this is a neat program. What it does is it uses the law of sines and law of cosines to solve a triangle for you. So let's say, for example, I have a triangle right here. I know this angle is 29, this angle is 132, and this side is 8. Okay, now, if I fire up this program, it says, what is given? So, in this triangle, according to this list, what I do have is angle side angle, which is option number 3. So if I press the number 3 and hit enter, it says enter your angles. So first, my two angles are 29, you hit enter, 132, you hit enter. Then it says enter the included side, which means the side in between them, that's 8, you hit enter. So first thing it pops up with is the area of your triangle. It says the area is 35.41. Angle opposite the given side, that would be the angle opposite this side right here, it says it's 19. You press enter. Then it reads side opposite 29 degrees. So that would be the side opposite this angle 29 degrees, and it says this is 11.91. You hit enter. And then it says side opposite 132 degrees is 18.26. That would be the third side right over here. And then you hit enter, and it says I'm done. So you clear the program. Now you have all three sides of this triangle, all three angles of the triangle, and the area of the triangle. This is a very handy program for a lot of different stuff. Now, one of the features of your TI-83 or TI-84 calculator is if you finish running a program like we just did, we're back in calculator mode, as you can see this flashing cursor. If you hit the enter key right here, it restarts the same program that you just ran. This is a handy feature sometimes because if you want to, say, run the same program several times in a row in order to check the answers to a given problem, you don't have to keep going through the program menu and finding the name of the program and hit enter, enter. This saves you some time. But it's also a kind of a nuisance, a pain in the neck sometimes, because if you hit the enter key one extra time at the end of a program, it puts you back into the program and you may not want to be there. Notice that this quit key or the clear button doesn't get rid of the screen. So one thing you can do in order to get back to your calculator is to just turn your calculator off and back on again, and you're back in business. But sometimes when you interrupt these programs in the middle, say if you go to try to graph something, then when you hit the graph key, you may see this stuff on the screen left over from the memory. If this ever happens, or if your calculator is ever acting weird for any reason, what you can do is go right into the program list, go up instead of down, and get to the last program that is on my list right there called xclean. if you run that program right there, then when you go to y equals and hit graph, then everything is back to normal and you see your normal graphing screen. So then this program right here is there to fix any issues with your calculator. If you have any trouble with your calculator, anything ever goes wrong, just run this program and your calculator will be back to square one. You won't lose any memory, but the format, zoom, and window settings of your calculator will be reset back to day one. So it will solve your issues for you. All right, and that was it. If you need to see these again, review it again later, you can always come back to this link and watch these videos again. Thanks for watching.